And he gives me the top 3 allegations. Gustavo is using company assets for personal use. He's cheating on his expenses, and he's taking advantage of women. He's truly a despicable person. 900 employees in the plant. Clearly, almost the majority of them are women. And as we learned through the investigation, the guy's a total scumbag. The CFO says to me, he said, so I sent internal audit down. They spent a week in country. They come back. Their report is inconclusive. But he said, I've been touched by fraud before. This is the CFO. And I love to work with people like that because they're not satisfied. He said, we're a big company. This is something that's going to be handled by HR. I think it could lead to something bigger. Tell me how quickly you can get a team. So I said, slow down. I got to hire CRI for this one. Corporate Risk International. They went down there, spent about a week. They came back with some very, very important facts for me. Nothing had to do with accounting and finance. Nothing. And I'll tell you one of those very important facts and how I was going to use it. So I got what I needed. I took my team, just a couple folks at first. I fly down. I'm going to meet with Gustavo. I want to meet with this guy right up front. Right up front. Nothing clandestine. I want to sit right in front of him, right in his office, right where he's most comfortable. And I want to test this guy's propensity to lie or tell the truth. Seriously. So I want to know right up front what kind of a guy do I have. So in a couple days, I'm sitting in front of Gustavo. I got a list of questions, but my questions aren't long. My questions are very open-ended. Tell me what you do, how things are going. I want the guy to talk. I'm very cordial, deferential, but before I ask him anything, he says, Senor Golden, a terrible thing has happened. I'm like, what? He said, well, we've had a lot of labor unrest here, and we had some people break into the plant last night, and they stole, now, 900 employees, most of them live out back in abject poverty. No electricity, no running water, open sewers. The father's on drugs or drunk all day. The mother is pregnant, taking care of the kids, and working for Gustavo. That's their life. No food, no hopes for the future. Okay, so we pull out. Gustavo was out of town when we did the FBI sweep. He's furious. He calls me up. He says, we got to meet. I said, fine, come to the hotel. I'm not coming there. Our relationship is now beginning to turn sour. He walks in the hotel lobby. I got my hand out. He walks right across the room. He kind of pushed it aside. He gets right up in my face. He's wagging his finger in my face. And he said, I know what you're doing, and I want to warn you, if you keep it up, you're going to go home in a body bag. I call the CFO, and I tell him what happened. And Steve said, that's horrible. You don't have to put up with that stuff. I'm going to have security go in and escort this guy off the premises tomorrow. I've had it. And I said, well, that's good on the word security, because the security company that you think you are paying $20,000 a year to, you paid $2 million to last year. And by the way, the guy who owns the security company is Gustavo's brother-in-law. I'd like to fire them too. He said, go ahead, fire him, get rid of him. And I want to hire new security. He said, fine, do whatever it takes. So I have a meeting with the security guy. Now this is an important meeting. This is the brother-in-law of Gustavo. There's a lot of information I can extract from him the same way I extracted it from Gustavo. Compliments, bonding, all that stuff. And like an idiot fool, my staff talks me into going out drinking that night, because when you get rid of the bad guy, what happens? Now you got employees that know stuff that are going to come forward. And we're going to do interviews and we're going to solve this case. So I should be working hard on this interview that I've got, and I didn't do it. I figured I'm an experienced guy, I'm a partner, I wrote a book, I'll just go in there and wing it. So I go in there and I wing it. And the guy's really nice, so I fire him in a nice way, and he tries to talk me out of it, but he doesn't work hard at it. And then we talk for the next half hour about his trip to New York, and he loved New York, he loves America, he's a Yankees fan, and as I was leaving, I did have the presence of mind to say, okay, now, you're going to remove all your guys immediately, right? Because I was planning on going out the next day with my team. And he laughs and he says, well, of course, you're not paying me anymore. Why would I leave him there? That made sense to me. So I walk out. And the next day we go there, and this is a long story in my 7-hour gig. I can't give you the whole thing. but we were taken hostage by gunpoint, many gunpoints. I mean, I had a Remington 870 in my face with the pump going. On our right, we had all of our bodyguards and school buses, and when they saw the guns in front of us, they came out, they had guns too, they cocked their guns. And we're in the middle of, without exaggeration, 100 guns. And I got 2 bodyguards, 2 of my managers, a labor negotiator, a lawyer, because we were going to start the interviews. We weren't going to start the interviews, they still had the place, right? It was like the Alamo. So this big white metal gate opens up, they bring us inside, and they put us in the conference room, and we're there all day with guns on us. They lowered their guns after about an hour, but they were just sitting there looking at us, and everybody had guns. It was just awful. And by 6 o'clock that night, the company had wired the ransom demand, $450,000, and they released us. And there's the picture of us leaving. So these are the good guys. These are our guards, and they were with us everywhere, absolutely everywhere.